No, hold on. Let's go calm down. Now, I know I'm late. Okay? Alright? I am aware of that. Okay? Alright, good. Put the gun down. I know that I'm also holding a gun, but put your down first, and then I'll put mine down also. I'm not gonna keep that promise that I'll put my gun down after you put your gun down. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I'm late. Okay? There were some things that happened, alright? Be cool, man. Be cool. Okay? Alright? Okay. Alright, we cool, man? Okay, we cool. Okay. Alright. Okay. So, yes, I know, once again, I know we're late, but be cool, okay? Be cool about this, okay? Because, we're gonna get through this, we're gonna catch up, we're gonna catch up on the episodes, we're gonna do, a whole episode dedicated to the week that we missed, and then we'll do another episode, right after that, where we will recap the, week that we, missed while recapping the previous week, because that's what happened, okay? Alright? Are we cool? Okay, alright. It's good to know that we're all cool, man. We're all cool. In the Super Vlillain vlogs. That one was very aggressive, and it sounded like a car. Oh, yes. Here we go. Yes. The recap week, where we catch up on things, on stuff that we missed. Sorry again, but stuff happens and shit too. But anyway, yes, let's just cut to it then, shall we? To Gotham. Yes, Gotham. And here on the fantabulous show that is Gotham. I know it's not fantabulous to everyone, but it's fantabulous to me because of all the great villainy that happens. We are getting closer and closer to ending the Bat before he even became a Bat. The little old Bruce Wayne. Well, that's an oxymoron. He can't be little and old at the same time, but you know what I mean. And of course, before we can do that, we need some build-up to it. We need some build-up. And my golly, is there some build-up. But I'm getting a little concerned, because clearly this is Theo Gallivant's plan. With what we saw with the backstory from the last episode, as told to us by that spunky old lady who I hope comes back. But, yes, so obviously it's evidence that this is Theo Gallivant's plan, to take down the little boy Bruce. Oh boy, yes, finally, this is what I was talking about. I was like, oh, if only they knew that if they just got rid of Bruce, that all of their problems would no longer be problems. They could do whatever the hell they want for the rest of eternity, or at least until they all died. But no, they didn't realize that. But apparently, no, that is why we have Theo Gallivant here. That is why we have this character who apparently might be Azrael or something. Because he is here who is aware of that. He probably has premonitions of it. Or it's just because of that backstory I mentioned. But yes, but either way, he knows that he must take down Bruce. So we need him to achieve his destiny. But unfortunately, I think there's going to be some complications, because as you know, Penguin has a bit of a rivalry going on. He's got a bit of a reluctance with Gallivant working with him, because he's holding his mama hostage. Mama Penguin is being held hostage. Oh no! Oh wait a minute, I already knew that. But yes. So, this makes Penguin want to, save her at all costs, even if it means cutting off his henchman's hand. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, all of them get their hands cut off, all of them, including Butch. So yes, Butch got his hand cut off, and then it got replaced by a big mallet or something, a big metallic mallet, and it's like, oh man, that guy's getting mutilated all the time. He got his face all stitched up so he could be manipulated, he got a lobotomy so he could do whatever the Penguin told him, and now he's got his hand cut off and replaced by a cartoonish blunt weapon that only is used in cartoons. Whenever the hell is a mallet used in real life other than by Gallagher? Also, if there's anyone who's listening to this who knows who Gallagher is, who is under the age of like 30, then congratulations! You are able to know history, I guess. But anyway, yes. So, but yes, you gotta feel sorry for Butch, and apparently this was all for nothing, because as soon as he gets accepted into Gallivant's posse, as soon as that happens, as soon as he's being accused of being Winnie the Pooh, because he's being called a sad bear, he might as well say, oh bother, as soon as that happens, boom, he gets found out. And at first it seems like it's going somewhere with that. Like, wait a minute. Apparently he tells Gallivant about how he's been lobotomized to do whatever the Penguin tells him to. So at first I thought, oh wait, that's going somewhere. He's going to get fixed. And instead, it's just Tigress torturing him, and they're like, yeah, torture him, even though we implied that we were gonna fix you, but instead we're just torturing you for some reason. But anyway, then Butch comes to Penguin, is like, hey, let's just do the war already. I was found out, sorry about that, but hey, let's just do the friggin' war. I found out some stuff about Galvin, I guess. Let's do a war now. Yay, war. So maybe that didn't go nowhere. Maybe the twist is that Butch is leading Penguin into an ambush. Oh, an ambush, if you will. Please don't. But yes, maybe that's what's going on. Maybe he has been de-lobotomized or whatever the hell. Butch, you need a vacation, or at least a hug, since you are apparently a bear. Yes, so yes, that means an epic war among villains next week, or this week, considering how you look at it. But yes, now you might be asking me, wait a minute, Bloodnofsky, I thought you hated the idea of two sides being on the same side of morals fighting each other. Well, you see, you're wrong. I only hate it when heroes do that, because they keep away from the villainy happening. But I don't mind if villains do that, if they fight each other, because that means twice the villain screen time. So the more the merrier in that regard. Now, I know what you're also thinking. Wait a minute, Bloodnofsky. There's a big chunk of villainy you have not talked about yet, and you kept hyping it up in the last episode. Well, that is because this very special villain who was in this episode, who was greatly shown in this episode, has got her own segment on this show. Yes, she's the one that we brought to the studio to do her own interview. So that means we can move on now. And the show that we will move on to is the new show. Yes, remember how I kept hyping up the Sinister Six? Not the actual Sinister Six that will never have their own movie thanks to a deal which is more better than bad, but I'm talking about a different Sinister Six. I'm talking about what I like to call the Sinister Six. And of course, I am referring to the fact that we finally have the full roster of shows to expect from this season of the Supervillain Vlogs. 6 shows a week. And the show that was added to the roster that completes the Sinister Six, of course, is Supergirl. Yes, Supergirl. After all that hype up, after all the, hey, why didn't you watch the leaked episode? And I kept answering, because I friggin' didn't have the chance to, you friggin' bitch. But yes, after all that, it has finally come upon us. It has finally happened. We finally have the pilot episode aired, and now it's finally apart, and now we finally have the Sinister Six complete until Heroes wraps up immediately. Oh, God damn it, but we still have a ways to go before that happens. So yeah, so enjoy the Sinister Six while it lasts. And let's enjoy Supergirl while it lasts. Not that there's a chance of it being cancelled, apparently, because it's being aimed towards girls. Did you hear that, girls? You're gonna learn about Toyman, even though that's not how Toyman is supposed to be. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So yes, this is Supergirl. The show that clearly establishes that Superman is in it without ever showing him or even mentioning him. Yes, they try many times to use gymnastics to avoid actually saying Superman and also not showing him. Now, I can understand why they're not showing him, because this is Supergirl's show. But why are they doing all this rigmarole trying to avoid his name? What the hell? They're even like Supergirl. Why do we call her Supergirl? Well, because of Superman, if you just mention him, but no, you have to pretend that his name apparently doesn't exist, even though he does. But that's okay. It's okay that we don't get to see Superman, because frankly, I wouldn't mind if we don't get to see any superhero, because I am a supervillain. I'm only here for the villains. Screw you, Supergirl, and your Supergirl, the supporting characters, most of them which are made up. But yes, I get what they're trying to pull here. They're trying to do a thing where they're taking all of the main characters you expect from Superman, and they're replacing them with the supporting characters of Superman, or at least the more supporting characters, the ones that are more down on the totem pole, and they're bringing up to replace the ones that we're used to as seeing as the main ones. So, of course, the most obvious one is Supergirl replacing Superman, but also there's Jimmy Olsen replacing Lois Lane, which is why he's all mature now, and he's James Olsen, although that doesn't explain why he's a big black man, but who cares? Who cares if Jimmy Olsen is black? Because, black don't crack. I don't know why I said that, but anyway, what other replacements do we have? Yes, Cat Grant replacing Perry White, although I don't remember Perry White being this bitchy, but maybe he was bitchy. I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. Who else? Yes, apparently we've got a Maxwell Lord here, who is going to replace Lex Luthor. Yes, so we got Maxwell Lord, but that's fine. It's a chance for him to sprout his wings and show his potential. And also we got Non here in the place of General Zod, apparently. Although there seems to be someone else who's replacing General Zod, but once again I'm getting ahead of myself. Yes, so all of these replacement characters. So it does bring up the question is, who the fuck is Jimmy Olsen, sorry, not Jimmy Olsen, Toyman replacing? Yes, Toyman is inserted into this, and he's a goody two-shoes good guy. In fact, he's basically like Jimmy Olsen in that way, but I guess that's who he's replacing. I guess he's replacing Jimmy Olsen since Jimmy Olsen is Lois Lane. He's the Jimmy Olsen. He looks like Jimmy Olsen more than this Jimmy Olsen, but I digress. Yes, so Toyman is here. Now, Toyman, of course, is a glorious supervillain in the comic books. He's the guy who lets us know that, you don't have to look perfect to be a supervillain. You can just be a middle-aged, sad, fat man with a hairy body, and you can still be a successful supervillain. That's very inspiring. And, of course, on this show, he's just a young, he looks like he's straight out of One Direction. What the hell? What the fuck? But that's okay, because apparently I've heard that he's going to have a father, and that will be the Toyman we're more familiar with. So it's another case of Merlin and Reverse Flash. Hooray for repetitiveness! But maybe this one won't end with him dying and then that older guy taking his place. Maybe it'll be the other way around. Maybe he will carry on the Toyman legacy. But first we have to see the actual Toyman. And of course now I have seen pictures of the actor who's going to play Papa Toyman, and he does look closer to what Toyman is supposed to be. I mean, I wish he was fatter, but hey, you know, don't look a gift horse in the gift mouth, or however the hell you say that. So yes, you know, we'll take what we can get. So, but you know, that's not the villain of the episode, unfortunately. No, the villain of the episode is, now before I can get into that, we have to get through a bunch of big-ass backstory about how, you know, not only was, the last son of Krypton the last son of Krypton, but there was also last daughter of Krypton, they were cousins, and she went through a black hole that took her into the what the hell is that called? The Phantom Zone? From Danny Phantom. Yes, the Phantom Zone. I know it's the Ghost Zone, but yes, the Phantom Zone is where she went, and apparently time stops there. And then by the time she got out, Superman was a grown-ass man, and she was still a girl. So that's why she's a lot younger than him, even though technically she's older. So yes, back then on the planet. So that's how they follow with that. So if anyone's confused, well, we'll think a little bit. But anyway, but when she got out of the Phantom Zone, something also came out of the portal that opened up. A giant ass jail, an intergalactic jail, an intergalactic prison of aliens. And so when they crash landed on Earth, they spread apart, they spread into the Earth, all of these aliens, every which way, all of these glorious aliens disguising themselves as humans. So it's basically like Men in Black, except with Supergirl implanted. And Will Smith eventually turns into Cyborg Superman. Yes, Cyborg Superman is here. Cyborg Superman. Good old Cyborg Superman back when he was Hank Henshaw. And he has also gone the way of Jimmy Olsen as in being transformed into a black man. It's going to be a lot more awkward this time around when he turns into Superman. It's like, well, not only did you turn into Superman, but you also turned into a white guy. Well, that's impressive. But I am also going into weird places again. Well, why am I doing this? But anyway, so Hank Henshaw shows up, and apparently he's also going to be a good guy, but this time he's going to be a general. And of course, you know, generals can potentially become bad guys. You know, sometimes they can become bad guys. You just have to give them enough time. You know, there's always the chance that he's going to become a supervillain. You know, I'm confident in him. I know he can do it. I know he can strive for that if he wants to. So you know, so if he just needs some time. You know, he just needs some time. But anyway, but he is also not the villain of this episode. You know, I know we have a bunch of villains here, and they're not villains yet. A lot like Gotham. Oh my God, this is the Superman equivalent of Gotham, isn't it? Oh wait a minute, that's Smallville. But anyway, everyone has said that. But anyway, yes. So as I said before, a whole slew of alien criminals are spreading across the Earth. Yes, and one of them is referred to as Zartax. Am I pronouncing that right? Zartax, Zartax. I don't know. His name sounds like a friggin' medicine. But yes, so Z-Tax or Zortax or Zartax or whatever the hell. Yes, he is the villain of the episode. He is the villain, and he is apparently a sexist. Yes, because apparently, as soon as this show was pitched, like, hey, let's do a female superhero show, they immediately said, like, okay, good. That immediately means that the supervillain has to be a sexist. Wait a minute, why does he have to be a sexist? Well, because it has to be a hyperbole or something. I don't know. So yeah, so he's a sexist, and he's like, in women, in my planet, we are the dominant race. Well, apparently you come from the Donald Trump planet. So anyway, so yes, so wait, is that what he is? I know he's like a racist and other things too, but I guess he's also a sexist. But anyway, yes. So Zartox has his epic battle with Supergirl, and he's got his badass axe, and he's fighting her, and he's got like a weird thing going on his head, like weird rims or stuff, something like a weird thing, like alligators have. And I'm like, oh sweet, he's like an alligator man, a dead alligator man. Yes, he dies immediately. What the hell? What? No! Don't be like the don't be like the first few episodes of the season of Flash. Don't like kill your villains all willy-nilly. No, they have to last. They have to be sabered. You can't do this. You can't just explode him like that and kill him. Yeah. So Zartox is dead. And it's a big shame too, because in the comic books he's got like these short shorts on. He's got like these hot pants on. He's like based off of that he's based off of that old weird sci-fi 70s movie starring Sean Connery, where he was wearing hot pants and he was exposing his big hairy legs. So yeah, so we never had a chance to see those big hairy legs. How could you do this, Supergirl? Now, because of you, we will never see a grown man's big hairy legs, because he's dead. I can't believe this. He's dead. Wait a minute, I just remembered something. He was talking to his boss. He was talking to that guy from who was a bad guy in the first Iron Man movie. The one that everyone thought was Mandarin, but turned out actually was not, but in hindsight is probably the closest thing we ever got to a Mandarin in comparison to what we had in Iron Man 3. Yes, that guy is on the show, and he is once again a super villain. Yay! Yes, now he can be more of a supervillain than he was in Iron Man. Now that he's a captain, now that he's the be-all end-all bad guy of Supergirl, apparently. Is he a Kryptonian? I don't know, but I know who is the guy who he is working for. And it's not a guy, it's a woman. Yes, and who is this mysterious female Kryptonian villainess that we have the pleasure of meeting? That is definitely our big bad of the season. Wait, she's Supergirl's aunt? She's Supergirl's aunt. And there's no mystery of that. There's no build-up. Just, yep, she's Supergirl's aunt. Well, maybe it's good that we got no build-up to that, because the payoff would have been disappointing. Oh, she's Supergirl's aunt. And from what I understand, she's not from the comic books, or at least I don't think she is. So, way to pull a villain out of your ass, like, See, shouldn't you learn from your mistakes from the last time you tried to adapt Supergirl into her own media, you know, with the movie from the 1980s? Like, you made up a villain for that too, and see how that worked out for you? Now you want to do it again here? You want to do that again here? You want to do that again here? Yeah, so made-up villain we have here. Oh, I shouldn't judge too much. I mean, I'm a made-up villain too, so maybe she'll turn out to be great. But yeah, she seems like too predictable. Like, who should be the arch-nemesis of Supergirl? Her evil aunt. Because I guess evil relatives is never a thing we've ever seen before, like Lion King or friggin' Shakespeare. I don't blame them for trying a different route here, but. Yeah, so she's our villain, I guess. Okay. You're gonna have to prove yourself, lady. You're gonna have to prove yourself, okay? All right? Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's Supergirl. Now let's move on over to the next show. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, this is so exciting, because it has finally at last arrived. This is something I've been so excited about for the last several weeks, Yes, because it was implied that that poor old Gemma was running away from something on that planet that she was teleported to. And I wanted to see what it was, because whatever it was going to be some big epic super villainy, I knew that. But then she came back, and I was like, oh, god damn it, now we'll never see what it is. But no, she wants to return to the planet, to the faraway planet. It's so exciting. But what I did not realize was that they were going to actually flat out show us what happened to her on that planet. Yes, this week's episode was dedicated to an entire flashback. Okay, well, not this week's episode, because like I said before, this is, kind of out of order. But anyway, well, not out of order, just late. But yes, this episode was an entire flashback to the events of her being on that planet. Did I say island earlier? Sorry, I always confuse this with Lost, because they're both on ABC, I guess. But yes, so now we get to finally find out what she was doing on that planet, and what she was running away from. Finally, it's at last. I'm so happy. Now we get to find out. Alright, so yes, here we go. Here's the episode. Let's see what villainy she runs into. Okay, nothing so far. She's just complaining about how hot it is. I mean, I don't blame her. I would complain too, especially with my gas mask on. Okay, she's talking to her phone a bunch. Okay. Alright. Ooh, she found some villainy. She decided to go skinny dipping inside of some kind of pond or something. Okay, well, she's not skinny dipping. She's wearing she's wearing her undies, but still, there's some villainy there. There's some villainy there because there's some kind of sea monster. Yes, some kind of sea monster thing. Yes. Oh, is that it? Is that the thing that that she was afraid of? Oh, she immediately kills it. Oh, and now she's eating it, and she says it's some kind of alien plant thing. Okay, so I guess it's not the villainy. That's alright, that's okay. I mean, monsters don't have to be the super villains, they can just be there to supply, to supply sustenance to the heroes who are trying to survive and whatnot. Alright, okay, fine. This is getting kind of tedious now. Where's the super villainy? Where is it? Where? And why am I acting as if I'm talking about the show as I'm watching it, even though I've already seen it and I'm talking about it now? Wait a minute, she just got caught. Yes, yes, this is it. Screw that sea monster. That was not sentient. That was just an animal. No, this is an actual supervillain. This is an actual supervillain who has captured her. Wait, he's just feeding her and whatnot. Maybe he's one of those. Maybe he's one of those like relatable supervillains or something, or whatnot. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see how he does. Alright? Okay, let's see how this supervillain is. Let's see what he is, what he's like. Oh, he's just some guy. What? He's just some guy? Oh, he's an astronaut who got here due to some kind of NASA mission. Oh my god, they're crossing over with the Fantastic Four. Oh no, not the shitty Fantastic Four movie. Everyone thought that this was leading up to Gemma meeting up with, everyone thought that this was leading up to Gemma crossing over with the Guardians of the Galaxy, not the shitty Fantastic Four. That's okay. That's not what's actually happening. That's not actually what's happening. No, it was just a past failed NASA experiment where a bunch of guys showed up and then they all died one by one. Wait a minute, they all died one by one? Oh, screw that guy. He's nothing. Whatever his name is what? Will Turner? Fine. Screw Will Turner. No, he is also a victim from whoever else is there. So yes, he actually is purposeful here, as warning fits about the true supervillain of this episode that is lurking amongst this planet. And who is it? Well, according to Will, it is the planet! Wait a minute. A living planet? You mean to tell me that Gemma is on a living planet? Oh my gosh. God damn it. Now, I'm not being disappointed by the answer of the villainy of the episode. That's not what I'm disappointed in. What I'm disappointed in is in myself for not guessing it. Oh, it should have been so obvious. This should have been something I should have called right when she got teleported to this planet. Right when it was revealed that she was on this planet. This should have been something that I guessed, and I never did. I never put it together. I should have. She's on Ego, the living planet. She's on Ego. Of course. Now, they never actually say that in the episode, and they never actually confirm that, because we never actually see the planet in its entirety, to confirm to us, because if we did see the planet in its entirety, and it was Ego, then that would mean we would see a big face on the planet, and he's got his big beard made out of forests or something, and he looks stupid to people who aren't used to comics, but for people who are used to comics, they would be like, oh, awesome, fuck yeah, Ego, the living planet. But yeah, they don't reveal that in this episode. So does that mean it's not Ego if they don't confirm it? Well, maybe they're building it up, I mean, it's a freaking planet. Like, why would you reveal such a thing all at once, They're trying to do this from the character's point of view. They're trying to do this from the character's point of view. And from their point of view, they don't know that they're on a big face in space. Hey, that rhymes. Space in space, space in face. So yeah, so they don't know that. For all they know, they doubt themselves that this is a living planet. Gemma doubts this guy that it's a living planet. And of course, eventually she comes to realize that he might be right, because she sees illusions and stuff and mirages. And at first you think, oh, is that what's really going on here? But no, it's just the planet manipulating her, making her think that. So yes, I think it's safe to say that this is Ego, the living planet. I mean, all the evidence is there. I mean, it's a planet that's sentient. They never actually say living planet. So, hopefully that means that they're setting it up to a later episode, because, at first I thought maybe they would confirm it at the end of this episode, Of course, before we get to that, we have to describe what happens first. Of course, Fitz, not Fitz, Simmons gets all lovey-dovey with this man in the planet. They become lovers. They put their beds together and whatnot, and thus angering the Fitzsimmons fans even more, even making them even more angry. I mean, oh my gosh, poor Fitz, he just can't catch a break every single time he gets close to her. Boom, all this kind of stuff happens. I mean, maybe it's not her fault. She didn't expect to be lunged into another world where she would see only one other person there, and, it just so happens that they have some clicks, they have some things that they're connections to and click. It's not her fault that she somehow found her soulmate on the other side of the universe. It's not her fault. It's the Raiders' fault. Yes, it's the Raiders' fault. You see, I think what we're seeing here is a reverse version of that Felicity situation, if you know what I mean. With Arrow, it was like, here's Oliver and here's Felicity, and they were obviously never meant to be together. That was never meant to be a thing. But then the fans were like, hey, put them together. And so the producers of the show were like, okay, fine, there you go. There, are you happy? We're gonna even be in your face about it now. They're together. Blah blah blah. But I think we're seeing a reverse here on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. regarding Fitz and Simmons, because I think it was clear that when these two characters were first created, it was clear that this was meant to be. They were meant to be together eventually. I mean, that they were practically created for that purpose, I felt, was just so they could eventually fall in love with each other, Fitz and Simmons. But then the fans were like, hey, why don't you do that already? So then the producers responded by saying, well, we were going to do it, but since you guys are just going to be whiny little bitches about it, you know what? Kiss our asses. We're not going to do it just because you want us to. So kiss our asses. We're going to make you think that they're going to be together several times, but once you think that you're so sure that they will, boom, we're going to trick you. We're going to make you look. Yeah. Take that. Yeah. Keep kissing our ass and we'll see how that works out. Yeah. So yeah, so that's the reason for that. But yes, so maybe this will drive Fitz closer to villainy, because when Simmons eventually does come back without Will, because of course, we already knew about that. Spoilers, jeez. But yes, so when she does return and she tells Fitz all of this, at first Fitz is freaking pissed, but then he's like, okay, fine, I'll locate him. There, I located him. There. Now, he seems very accepting of this, but maybe he still has some inner anger about that, some inner anguish about that. So, yes, let that consume you, Fitz. Yes, let that build up inside so you can explode it out in glorious super villainy. So I'm not too angry about that. But what I am angry about is that I thought that the stinger of this episode, since every episode ends with a stinger, I thought that the stinger of the episode would be the big reveal that this was Ego the Living Planet, but instead it was just a further proof that Will is still alive. Oh, goody. So I guess we're going to have to wait for it. I guess we're going to have to wait to see if this truly is Ego the Living Planet. I mean, it's a safe bet that it is. Marvel has the rights to him. I mean, he first appeared in the Thor comic books. So I think that's a safe bet that that's who this is going to be. I mean, they already brought up the idea of a sentient planet, so why would it not be? I guess the only thing that would be against it would be shitty CGI. I mean, it would make more sense to have that be a Guardians of the Galaxy type thing than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. type thing. But hey, Guardians of the Galaxy's already got their own giant big head in space. Nowhere. They already got that. So yes, so let's save Ego the Living Planet maybe for here. So here's hoping we see that big burly face on a planet, that good old chap. So yes, let's be confident about that. Let's cross our fingers. After all, he is a supervillain. Although now that I think that he eventually joined the Nova Corp. Don't do that, Ego the Living Planet. Be a supervillain, if that is you. But if it's not, then screw you. Okay, let's move on. The Flash. Yes. Now if you saw my last episode, you would know that I was very reluctant about doing this one on the count of that I was afraid that they were just going to focus on stupid Firestorm again. Whenever that asshole shows up, they always take away the villainy of the episode, and because apparently we only have enough room for one superpowered character, so that means no supervillain, just little old Firestorm. And I was like, blah. That's why I didn't like that episode from last season, because it kept us away from super villainy. Luckily, that is not the case this week. Yay! Oh, thank God. Yes. Yes. They found an opportunity. They found a leeway to supply us super villainy. Because you see, this episode did have a supervillain in it. And it was a supervillain who was tired of being thrown away, tired of being rejected and ignored and whatnot, tired of all that. He was tired of all this bullshit of being ignored by other people and constant rejection. But no, here he gets the spotlight on Super Villain Vlogs. Here is where I get to talk about him. Wait a minute. This episode has King Shark in it? Oh, screw that other guy, whoever the hell that was. Screw him to high hell. I don't even know who the hell that was. No, I need to talk about this. How the fuck do you have King Shark in your episode without even doing anything with him? What the hell? Tell me this didn't just happen. Tell me you just didn't just have King Shark in your episode and then all of a sudden he's gone. What the fuck? It's okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's try to retrack ourselves. Okay, so the episode begins with the new chick, Patty Spivot. Sounds like a sounds like a handy tool. No, I'm not trying to be sexual. I'm trying to literally say that it sounds like a brand name of a tool that you use around the house. Don't get all perverted on me. So anyway, Patty Spivot says that there are reports of a shark man lurking around. And at first, when I heard that, I'm like, oh, that's just a reference to King Shark. That's cute. That's adorable. But we're not gonna get him. Surely he's gonna be in the Suicide Squad film. I mean, there's this big guy who's been confirmed to have a part in that movie, but he hasn't been confirmed a character yet. And of course, we know that Killer Croc is in that movie too. So maybe they have like a rivalry or something. So I just assume like, yep, we're probably not gonna get King Shark in this show. So they decided just to have a cute little reference to him with the walking shark thing. Oh, that's cute. That's adorable. And then the episode ends with a big giant big ass CGI hand grabbing Barry, and then picks him up, and there he is in all his giant mediocre CGI gloriness. Oh, or glory. Why did I say gloriness? That's not a word. But anyway, yes, there he is. Oh my God. He's beautiful. Oh, he looks way better than he probably ever will be in Suicide Squad. They're probably just going to take a guy and put him in makeup, probably give him like shark teeth and maybe a mohawk, like in that straight-to-DVD Suicide Squad cartoon movie. That's probably what they might do in that movie. So they decided, no, we are going to do an accurate interpretation of King Shark for Flash. We are going to do it accurately. And here he is. And he's beautiful. And he's majestic. I can't wait till he eats Barry. It's gonna be fantastic. Wait a minute. This guy's a giant big CGI character. And we know what happens to giant CGI characters on TV shows. They just show up for a millisecond and then they're gone. They're gone. If you thought that it was really bad what they did to Gorilla Grodd in his episode last season, where they kept building up to his own episode, and then when we finally got it, he only showed up for I don't know, like 4 or 3 minutes in the whole episode. This is like that, except times a billion. What the fuck? If you don't have enough time to show King Shark, then why the fuck do you even bother having him show up if you're not going to even have enough money to have him show up for a decent amount of time? It's like just a millisecond and then he's down. It's like the DCCW or whatever the hell it's called universe, the DCCW HIJKF universe. It keeps trying to have its cake and eat it too, it seems. Like they want it to be this big, spectacular, fantastical world where all this weird stuff happens, and this big, weird, bizarre thing, such as a shark man. But they want to have their cake and eat it too by not having enough money to do it. So they're just like, okay, we'll show like just milliseconds of the wacky, bizarre, extra bizarre stuff like King Shark, and then we'll do nothing with him. It's just that so they're having their cake by letting us know that he exists, but eating it too by not doing shit with him. But when you do that, it's just that you just keep making the audience think, well, I wish we could go back to the Shark Man instead of having to deal with this bullshit that we have to settle with instead. So Killer Shark is just used as a plot device to show us that Barry has been reunited with Dr. Wales, or not reunited because he's never met this other version of Dr. Wales, this Earth 2 Wales. Oh, way to go, writers! You managed to successfully contrive a way to keep that actor. and yet you did not contrive a way, and yet you also used a contrivance to get rid of another character, Barry's papa. So anyway, yes, so all this was, all he was used for was just to show us, like, hey, Dr. Wells is here, the other Earth Wells, and he incapacitated King Shark. Or at least I hope he did. I mean, I know even if King Shark is still alive, we're probably still not going to see jack shit of him. But still, it's like, it's really sad. At least let us know whether or not he made it, okay? You can't just have Killer Shark, or King Shark. Sorry, I'm confusing him with that other animal, big man. You can't just have King Shark in your universe and not do shit with him. You know, at least have him show up every now and then to remind us that a freaking giant shark man exists in this universe. I mean, they're probably going to do that with Gorilla Grodd too, so there's that. But anyway, yes, so this does make me think, like, what other big, spectacular characters who would require CGI are they going to shoehorn into this show and not do shit with? Just be like, hey, this character's here. It's too bad we're not going to do anything with him. Damn it. Maybe it is better off having him in the Suicide Squad movie, because at least there he might actually do some shit. Alright, let's move on over to Arrow. Let me get a preparation for Arrow. Alright, okay, let me mentally prepare myself. Okay, alright, okay, I'm ready. Alright. Okay, so what new character are they gonna have team up with what other character are they gonna have team up with Damien Dark, thus reminding us that these characters are more of supervillains than Damien Dark is. Who is it? Who is it this time? Lady Cup? Lady Cup? But she's not a bad guy. She's a superhero. For those of you who don't know about Lady Cup, Lady Cup is a superhero from the comic books. So obviously, if they're gonna do Lady Cup for a modern TV show, they wouldn't be like, "Whoa, isn't that a weird thing? A lady who is a cup." Well, it's not weird. Actually, that's actually very normal. So what they do for Lady Cup is they make her sort of like a vigilante. They make her the leader of this rough and tough, hardcore police force that go by their own laws. You know, they have their own way of doing things. You know, or their own way of abiding by the law. And that means, and if anyone gets in their way, then so be it. Yeah, that's more like my kind of police officer. Those people, except without killing innocent people. You know. Hey, I'm a supervillain, but that doesn't mean I don't care for real people. So anyway, so yes, so they're doing their own thing. Yes, I wouldn't want real police cops doing that because but no, they're uber cops. They're super villainous cops. Yes, this is great. Yes. This is a much better version of Lady Cop. This is evil Lady Cop. And then she surrenders herself and hands herself over to Arrow and the police. Boy. Do we at least find out whether or not Lance or whatever the hell his name is, Quentin Tarantino Lance? Do we find out yet whether or not he's actually evil? At least teaming up with Damien Dark. Oh, do we find out? Well, it turns out that Oliver knows now, so they have a meeting about this kind of thing. And is this when we find out whether or not he's evil? Apparently not. No, he's still a good guy, and Oliver's okay with it. And wait a minute. Are they having their cake and eat it too in a different way? Where it's like, oh, we want a good guy to team up with a bad guy, but we want them to still take on continue with their own sides. Well, if you do that, then shouldn't one of them be on the other side? Why if one's a good guy and the other's a bad guy, like, and they're making an alliance, then how do you keep them on their same sides then? I don't know. Anyway, so Quentin Lance tries several times to kill Laurel, and she's like, oh, and she's like all animalistic and whatnot, and he tries to kill her, and Sarah's like, no, I want her to continue suffering. Or Laurel. Sorry, I got my Black Canaries mixed up. Sorry about that, but anyway, yes. So, apparently this is when we're gonna get John Constantine. Yes, this is how we're gonna get him. So he can come in and be like, alright then, I'll just come here and I'm just gonna bring her back to life. And then I'm gonna leave because that was the only thing about this Deo is that I just do that and then I friggin' fuck off. Yes, so that's the only way we're getting Constantine back. Can we at least get Papa Midnight back too? I miss Papa Midnight. Apparently he disappeared on top of a mountain. Papa Midnight! Yes, but alas, we have to wait for that. Well, you guys don't have to wait for that because, I'm the one who's behind. You guys are in the future. Oh, I'm lost in time. Da, 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 da. Power of love. So anyway, yes. Is that pretty much the super villainy? Yeah, I think that's the super villainy. Also, more flashback bullshit. So yes, let's move on now to the final show of the week, thus completing our Sinister Six. Heroes. I was a little off pitch with that one, but that's because it's been a while since I've done this, okay? I need some time to readjust back to this, okay? I'm sorry. But anyway, yes. So, we were promised a big flashback episode this week, and usually when Heroes does that, they're like, no, we have to be different. We have to be more like Lost. Lost doesn't just do flashback episodes, they do flash forward episodes and flash sideways episodes and whatnot, like going into the future and going into alternate timelines and whatnot, but those alternate timelines turn out to actually be afterlife the whole time. Whoops, I just spoiled Lost. But anyway, so the way Heroes decides to make their flashbacks all different from the others because they're because they stick it to the man, they decide their flashbacks are going to be done through time travel, where Hero takes some people to back in time so he can fuck things up by accident and be like, oh no, whoopsie doodle doo. That's probably why we haven't seen him in a long time, because we don't need this season to be as complicated as fuck. Yes, but I think it is becoming complicated. But anyway, yes. As you guys know, this whole season, or at least mini-series, mind you, it has been centered around the mystery of this big-ass explosion. Well, maybe it's not a mystery. Maybe I haven't been paying enough attention to realize that maybe it's already been solved. But before this episode, but this episode confirms who it was. And of course, we're not really that surprised. Like, surprise! It was Erica Kravid who did it. She's the one who orchestrated all the things with the help of her Harrison clone buddies. They joined forces and they exploded the place and pinned it all on Mohinder. Yes, I remember Mohinder from the original run of Heroes. He had potential to be a supervillain quite a few times. He had sort of this Brundle Fly thing going on for a while. But then I guess the writers forgot about that he was kind of turned into a monster, so they were like, screw it, he's a good guy again. Yeah, so I was actually kind of excited about that. Like, yes, Mohinder being a villain, full-on villain now, but nope, he was framed. Whatever. Okay, fine, you're free to go, Mohinder. Oh, no, wait, you're not, because you perished in this explosion. Oh, God. Yes. So the explosion that's responsible for killing most of the people from the original run was Erica Kravid and her assistants, her clone assistants. And of course, this confirms, unfortunately, that yeah, it seems like the creepy shadow girl, who I keep thinking looks like a creepypasta. You know, she looks kind of like Slender Man's little sister. Oh, it's cute. Oh, it's adorable. But yeah, this pretty much confirms that yes, she's just being misguided. She's being misguided by Kravid into thinking that what she's doing is good, and she's the one who helps make the big ass storm that activates the explosion, or is the explosion activated by the clones wearing suicide bomb belts? I don't know anymore, but anyway, yes. So, but the good news is that even though this confirms that, yeah, she's just being misguided, she's not actually being a supervillain, but it does confirm something. Erica Kravid is definitely a supervillain now. She definitely is, because she committed genocide. Hooray! Oh, please don't take that out of context. Oh, man, my morals are really screwed up. Luckily, I'm a fictional character, so it's okay for me to say these fucked up things. But anyway, yes, so, or maybe it's not. But anyway, yes, I mean, people give South Park all this shit all the time, and they're made up. They're fictional characters made out of construction paper, and yet they get all this shit. Although they haven't been made out of construction paper in a long time, to be fair. I mean, they're made like from us editing software now. But anyway, I'm going way off track. But anyway, yes, so this confirms that she is a supervillain. Even though she wants to save the world, she's willing to kill thousands of billions of people to do it. Yes, and guess what? Even though, yes, and do you know how that sounds familiar? Do you know why that sounds familiar? Because that's exactly like Ra's friggin' al friggin' Ghul. That's like Ra's al Ghul from Batman Begins. I'm not saying she's a copycat. I'm just saying that, hey, we still regard Ra's al Ghul as a badass supervillain, even though he keeps claiming to be like, I'm doing this for the greater good. The greater good. Yes, so that means that she is a supervillain, because no matter how much you want to claim you're doing it for good, if you're going to do horrible, evil, fucked up, malicious things, that means you're a supervillain, honey. There's no denying it. You gotta come out of the supervillain closet, honey. So she is being a supervillain. Finally, yes, this confirms it. And what's also confirmed is that the cheerleader is indeed dead. So yes, turns out the slogan that the series had been following this whole time, save the cheerleader, save the world. It turns out, we can still save the world without saving the cheerleader, because the cheerleader's dead. And the way we know that is because she gave birth to her replacements. Yes, this episode reveals that that the two kids that we've been following these last couple of weeks, you know, the one that controls light and the one who can teleport, it turns out that they're the son and daughter of her. And you might be thinking, like, wait a minute, they can't be her daughter. She's like in her early 20s or mid to early 20s, and they're like in their late teens. Well, you see, the answer is fucking time travel. Yes, Hiro Nakamura time traveled. It was him. He did it. So so the show has gone full-on Futurama now. Now, I did not have to talk about this because, you know, it's not super villainy. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Like, these kids are the freaking New Hope kind of thing. You know, it's like they combined that episode of Futurama where Fry becomes his own grandpa, or turns out to be his own grandpa. It's like they combined that episode with Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. They combined the ending of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith with that time travel episode from Futurama. They combined the two, and this episode was the result. This horrible abomination fetus of an episode. Okay, it's not that bad. I mean, yeah, hey, super villainy, and, you know, I like all kinds of kooky, weird, sci-fi, convoluted time travelness. Just as long as it doesn't hurt my head too much. And if it does, like, hey, whatever, it's a TV show. I don't have to always be intrigued. I can just be entertained and then be like, okay, that was confusing. Just like every single Christopher Nolan film. So anyway, yes. So that was the villainy. Apparently, we're going to continue with the villainy next episode because, or at least the villainy of the past, with more episodes to come. Usually, when they do a lot of time travel that spans across several episodes, they usually come back to the present where everything is okie dokie, okay, nothing changed. So, yeah, so looking forward to that inevitable conclusion to this story arc going on right now, currently in Heroes. But anyway, yeah, so that completes the villainy recap of the episode. So, let's talk about who is the most badass and who is the least badass. Alright then, okie dokie, let's see here. So the least badass of this week is, Zartox, because he got destroyed way too easily and way too fast, okay? We didn't have enough time to see his big, hairy, middle-aged man legs, so I'm sorry, Zartox, but because you didn't show us your legs, you're gonna have to be, the least badass, and also you're dead. So that means you cannot rebuttal against my declaration. And the most badass, I'm gonna have to give it to King Shark, because, he needs it right now, because, he's going through a hard time, given the shaft, just like Gorilla Grodd. Very sad when villains get the shaft. Unless it's a different type of shaft. But anyway, yes, so that's the episode, everybody. I'm gonna end it on a perverted point. And I will see you on the next episode, where we continue to recap over things I missed. Yes. But don't worry, we are going to get all caught up eventually. I'm not sure when, but sooner than later, I guess. Don't hold me on that. Alright, now if you excuse me, I'm going to catch up on the on the next week also, because we are behind. I gotta run, I don't have enough time.